Lesson 96. Salvation comes from my one self. Welcome to the Qigong support for A Course in Miracles. I'm Judith and you're at the Lucid Mind Center. First, we're going to read and contemplate the Course in Miracles lesson together. After the reading, I will suggest a class or several different classes for you which are suitable to practice this lesson in a Qigong class. Within the Qigong class, I will remind you to remember your lesson. I'm also going to include some core ideas as mantras of A Course in Miracles. And I'm also going to remind you to connect to your holy self, to your Holy Spirit, to the voice of our Creator, to receive your message, which is tailor-made to your understanding. There's going to be plenty of time where we are just going to circulate the Qi and where you're just going to enter a meditative state with your mind alert and able to listen to that voice of your holy self. Before we start, please do me the favor and subscribe to the channel so more Course in Miracles students can find me. And at the end, let me know how this went for you, how long you've been with A Course in Miracles, and where you're watching from. Let's begin. Lesson 96. Salvation comes from my one self. Although you are one self, you experience yourself as two, as both good and evil, loving and hating, mind and body. That's true. This sense of being split into opposites induces feelings of acute and constant conflict and leads to frantic attempts to reconcile the contradictory aspects of this self-perception. You have sought many such solutions and none of them has worked. The opposites you see in you will never be compatible, but only one exists. And this is very interesting when we're working with Qigong, because in Qigong it is clearly stating that the creation which we have here on earth, there was a split into yin-yang, and then from yin-yang there came a union into humanity and the 1,000 things which are created. In Chinese cosmology, everything we see in this world has got a yin and a yang aspect. But it all comes from oneness, from the time before creation. The fact that truth and illusion cannot be reconciled, no matter how you try, what means you use, and where you see the problem, must be accepted if you would be saved. That means no matter how hard you try, you have to stop trying to unite yin and yang, and you must accept that there is a state before the separation, which is the light, which is the one self. Be accepted if you would be saved. Until you have accepted this, you will attempt endless lists of goals you cannot reach, a senseless series of expenditures of time and effort, hopefulness and doubt, each one as futile as the one before and failing as the next one surely will. Problems that have no meaning cannot be resolved within the framework they are set. Two selves in conflict could not be resolved, and good and evil have no meeting place. The self you made can never be yourself, nor can yourself be split in two and still be what it is and must forever be. A mind and body cannot both exist. Make no attempt to reconcile the two, for one denies the other can be real. So one denies that the other can be real, you see? So if you believe that you are a body, then you cannot be a mind. And if you be a mind, then you cannot be a body. You can have a body which you are using, or you can be a body which has a mind and is using the mind. And this is the trick here. You are either a body or you are a mind, and the other thing you are using for the purposes. And this is the key here. If you are physical, your mind is gone from your self-concept, for it has no place in which it could be really part of you. If you are spirit, then the body must be meaningless to your reality. Spirit makes use, and I want to point out here now, the word spirit, the way it is used now here, is the way we normally would use, the Course would actually use God or Creator. So listen to this. Spirit makes use of mind as means to find its self-expression. Spirit. And the mind which serves the spirit is at peace and filled with joy. Its power comes from spirit, and it is fulfilling happily its function here. Yet mind can also see itself divorced from spirit and perceive itself within a body it confuses with itself. Without its function then, it has no peace, and happiness is alien to its thoughts. So there's 2 points here important in this particular paragraph. The mind, the energy which the mind is using to do its thoughts, it comes from spirit. Without spirit, the mind cannot function. It is like if the mind is a computer, in a kind of way, it's a very bad example, but as if the mind is a computer and the spirit is the energy which is powering that computer, if you will. That is the first thing. And the second thing is, you must not confuse yourself with being a body, because if we are confusing ourselves with being a body, and we are all prey to that particular fallacy, if we perceive ourselves as bodies, then we're forgetting that we are actually more than a body, that we are actually the mind. We are not a body. We are a mind which is using the spirit source energy, the divine energy, to recognize itself, if you will. Yet mind can also see itself divorced from spirit and perceive itself within a body it confuses with itself. Without its function then, it has no peace, and happiness is alien to its thoughts. Yet mind apart from spirit cannot think. It has denied its source of strength and sees itself as helpless, limited and weak. This is like as if you were disconnecting yourself from that electricity plug and would just work on battery, which has obviously got an end to it, instead of actually plugging into source and receiving your energy from source constantly. Dissociated from its function now, it thinks it is alone and separate, attacked by armies, massed against itself and hiding in the body's frail support. Now must it reconcile unlike with like, for this is what it thinks that it is for. Okay? Now must it reconcile unlike with like, for this is what it thinks this is for. Waste no time on this. Who can resolve the senseless conflicts with a dream presents? What could the resolution mean in truth? What purpose could it serve? What is it for? Salvation cannot make illusions real and solve a problem that does not exist. Perhaps you hope it can, yet would you have God's plan for the release of his dear son bring pain to him and fail to see him free? Yourself retains its thoughts, and they remain within your mind and in the mind of God. The Holy Spirit holds salvation in your mind and offers it the way to peace. Salvation is a thought you share with God, because his voice, meaning the Holy Spirit, because his voice accepted it for you. So your higher self, your higher consciousness, or your Holy Spirit, your Christ consciousness has accepted it for you and answered in your name that it was done. So that means that your higher consciousness, that voice for God within you, has answered and had said, yes, salvation is done. I am accepting my part in salvation. But for some reason, we are still disconnected from it, because it's like a mass illusion we have here on the earth. Thus is salvation kept among the thoughts yourself holds dear and cherishes for you. We will attempt today to find this thought, again with a capital T, whose presence in your mind is guaranteed by him who speaks for you from your one self. So this means we are going to find that thought within us, which the Holy Self or our higher consciousness is keeping in our mind for us until we are ready to remember what that one thought is, and until we are ready to remember that we are that one self. You see? And this, whatever this is within us, is in every single other human being, every single one of us. So I'm going to repeat the sentence. We will attempt today to find this thought with a capital T, whose presence in your mind is guaranteed by him with a capital H and a capital who, him who speaks to you from your one self. So this is your Holy Spirit. Our hourly 5-minute practicing will be a search for him within your mind. Salvation comes from this one self through him who is the bridge between your mind and it. Wait patiently and let him speak to you about yourself and what your mind can do, restored to it and free to serve its will. Begin by saying this. Salvation comes from my one self. Its thoughts are mine to use. Then ask its thoughts and claim them as your own. Like I have said before, and I'm just going to repeat myself, but repeating is the necessity until it becomes a habit. Please write this particular sentence down on a piece of paper or on several pieces of paper and do it by hand. And put them into places where you're going to see them. For example, put them under a fridge magnet in your kitchen. Put them in your office, on the screen of your computer. Put them at the dashboard of your car. Put them in your bedroom, in your bathroom. Put them in different places where you will be reminded every time you go and walk around in your house or be in your house or drive somewhere, that to repeat this particular sentence every hour or more than that, more often, until it actually dawns on you what it actually means. Salvation comes from my one self. Its thoughts are mine to use. Its thoughts, the salvation comes from that one self, from that higher self within you, which we are all sharing. It's the same one self. And its thoughts are mine to use. Its thoughts of that particular one self are mine to use, are yours to use. Then seek its thoughts and claim them as your own. These are your own real thoughts you have denied and let your mind go wandering in a world of dream to find illusions in their place. Here are your thoughts, the only ones you have. Salvation is among them. Find it there. If you succeed, the thoughts that come to you will tell you you are saved and that your mind has found the function that it sought to lose. Yourself will welcome it and give it peace. Restored in strength, it will again flow out from spirit to the spirit in all things created by the spirit as itself. Beautiful. Let me repeat this so you get this. Restored in strength. So once you have restored, once you have figured out who you truly are, and even if it's just an instant, it will again flow. It's gonna flow like the chi from spirit with a capital S to the spirit with a capital S. It means it's flow, that remembrance of who you are, that smile, that light within you, when it starts shining and you see it in the other, anything which is created, anywhere where you can perceive life in it, when you let it flow to it, then it awakens your recognition. Your awareness within you becomes stronger and you are kind of touching that spirit in that other thing which is there, alive within this creation, within this world. Restored in strength, it will again flow out from spirit to spirit in all things created by the spirit as itself. Your mind will bless all things. That means when you are recognizing that this plant has got spirit in it, then you're going to recognize it within yourself and you're going to recognize it in the plant and you're going to bless the plant and the plant will bless you back. Your mind will bless all things. Confusion done. You are restored, for you have found yourself. Yourself knows that you cannot fail today. Perhaps your mind remains uncertain yet a little while. Be not dismayed by this. The joy yourself experiences, it will save for you, and it will yet be yours in full awareness. Every time you spend 5 minutes of the hour seeking Him who joins your mind and self, you offer Him another treasure to be kept for you. Each time today you tell your frantic mind salvation comes from your one self, you lay another treasure in your growing store. And all of it is given everyone who asks for it and will accept the gift. Think then how much is given unto you to give this day that it be given you. Beautiful. So since this particular sequence of A Course in Miracles lessons is urging us to do 5 minutes remembrance, 5 minutes devoting to our one self for every hour, I am going to make a short Qigong class, which you can then do, if you like, several times during the day. And in this particular Qigong class, I will prompt you to remember your lesson and to open up your mind to that one self, to that holy self within you, and receive the message which is tailor-made for you. So this class I have created specifically for those shorter practice periods. And here you have got a list of Qigong classes which you can choose to apply to this lesson, which have got different lengths. And here you have got the playlist for all the A Course in Miracles lessons. Enjoy and let me know at the end how it went for you. Love, light and chi to you.